Welcome to our discovery of action research. Action research is a science, and so the word science can bring many things to mind, but it is a way of thinking about and observing the universe that leads to a deep understanding of its workings. Stanovich, 1992. There is something called pseudoscience. And while science is a method of studying and organizing the natural world, pseudoscience also uses the scientific process, but it's used to support prior beliefs. How do we recognize pseudoscience? Well, someone starts with a belief, then they look for data that will support that belief. See, a miracle occurs in the middle of this one. Research is defined as the systematic procedure to collect data used in viewing our world. And here we have three different types of research: quantitative, qualitative, and action. What's the difference between qualitative and quantitative? Quantitative is known as the experimental research, and it uses a variable to draw conclusions, where qualitative uses systematic observations to understand the world. Is one better than the other? No, it really depends on what type of questions you're wanting an answer to. So just what type of research is action research? Well, it's most often qualitative. Researcher will collect data, but they will not isolate a variable. The study is done in the regular environment, with reflection a central theme of action research. As you see, as they go through the stages of action research, sometimes you need to go back and repeat a step, or you may have to move them out of order. That's why reflection is a central theme. Research paradigms. Paradigms are important to understand because they're how you view the world, and however you're viewing the world determines what kind of questions you will ask. There's the metaphysical paradigm, where it's viewed beyond the physical world. Materialistic monism, where the universe consists of matter and energy. All things can be weighed and measured. Dualism is composed of both the physical and the metaphysical. There's transcendental monism. It's a world where the basic essence is consciousness. As for the action research process, there are 5 essential steps. The most important is to ask a question. You identify a problem or some area of exploration. Decide what data will be collected, how data will be collected, and just how often. Then you need to collect and analyze your data. Then describe how the findings can be used and applied. And of course, report or share your findings and plan for action with others. Johnson, 2008. You may need to repeat some of the steps several times, or you may find yourself doing them in a different order. That's okay. You could even have a 6th step where you place your question in a theoretical context known as the literature review. Johnson, 2008. The action research process, as we've mentioned earlier, is not necessarily linear. You go through a cycle of investigation, reflection, make a plan, predict, act, and identification. Keep in mind, you don't start with an answer. You follow the KISS principle, and your study does not have to be complicated or elaborate. Have a good plan before you begin, even though you may need to adjust your plan as you go. And the project does not need to be over an extended period of time. Are you ready to begin your action research project? Is there a problem where you work that you'd like to solve? Is there something about your job that you would like to improve? Is there a question you have about your work that you would like answered? Is there an area of interest about your job that you would like to explore? What type of data will you need to collect? Where will you go to find it? How will you collect the data? How often will you need to collect the data? These are all parts of your plan. Whoops, got the wrong data there. Can you tell I'm a sci-fi fan? There's reflection, where you collect and analyze your data, and how can your findings be used and applied? And finally, you need to share and report your findings. Your project's not complete until you share your findings with others. Action research could also be a very effective method of professional development and staff growth.